right move, which, by the way, rarely exists, in order to improve or sustain their performance, respond to a competitive threat, or recover from a growth stall. The reality is, when it comes to growth, the one thing is, it's never just one thing. Responding to change. Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose. Bill Gates. Why do companies look for the one right move? Maybe it's because they do what seems doable. Look for the one problem area to fix, the one big initiative they can take to boost the numbers quickly, or even repeat the one growth strategy that worked in the past. This last tactic is particularly insidious. Companies often rely on strategies that worked for them once, but may have outlived their purpose and no longer have the desired impact in current market conditions and context. Companies that reach into a bag of old tricks without careful consideration of the changing market dynamics risk getting trapped in a vicious downward cycle, repeating the same actions and yielding ever worse results over time. The cost of misalignment between perception and reality can be enormous, and keeping a business as usual attitude under such circumstances is bound to only make responding to change more difficult. The perception may be, we got this, it's just a temporary setback, when the reality is that customers change, industries change, technology changes, heck, the world changes, and companies that don't constantly evolve, sometimes in the smallest ways, risk being left behind. Let this bring you comfort. You are not alone. While it is true that many companies struggle to keep up with the pace of change or the rate of disruption caused by innovative technology and new business models, these are not the only reasons why companies struggle to find and maintain growth and revenue streams. Sometimes, the biggest threat to a company can be its own success, or worse, complacency. Why? Because for companies that are currently growing and not yet aware of an impending growth stall, it reinforces the status quo. It rewards, at least for a time, resistance to change, and ultimately it makes company leaders terrified to pursue a new direction for fear they will mess up a good thing that it's got going. What had been, in the early days, an entrepreneurial spirit that embraced new opportunities and risks often shifts to one that fends them off, especially when things start to go wrong. The fact is, 87% of all companies go through a growth stall at some point, and only a small percentage of them ever recover. When asked what slows growth, it might surprise you to learn that most executives actually cite internal factors. In a Bain & Company study, 85% of the executives surveyed and a full 94% of those running companies with more than $5 billion in revenue said that internal, not external, obstacles keep their companies from growing profitably. What a shame. After all, it is the internal factors over which you are supposed to have control, as opposed to moves by your competitors, market shifts, and even black swan events. For the purposes of Growth IQ, growth refers to top-line sales organic growth, not cost-cutting, mergers and acquisitions, M&A, or other means to grow profitability or the bottom line. Growth strategy is defined as a plan of action or policy designed to achieve a major or overall aim. Growth path is how. Initiatives that can focus the company on the task at hand and achieve the strategic growth goal. 10 paths to growth. The more conversations I had on the subject, and the more deeply I studied the ways in which companies have grown successfully, the more I came to realize that it wasn't just about what growth strategies companies chose to pursue that determined the likelihood of success, but rather the context in which a strategy was deployed and the combination and sequence of initiatives. Growth is far less complicated than most